Welcome to the South Florida Saltwater Fishing Report. I'm Heath, and it's time to get into the bite. All right, folks, welcome to the show. South Florida's ultimate resource for everything local fishing. We're going to go over what's biting, who's catching it, where it's being caught, and we're also going to cover your future marine forecasts, your moon phase, and your tide charts. Everything you need to know to help keep you in the bite. Before we get into this, though, if you want to learn more about fishing, grow as an angler, just see some great and exciting offshore fishing adventures, you can start by hitting the subscribe button and joining the South Florida Saltwater Fishing family. All right, folks, springtime's here, right? Right now, currently, the weather's a little funky. We got a low pressure system that is like stalled out, sitting over the middle of Florida. It's going to make the weather kind of nice. We've got a swell coming in for those of you that like fishing in those conditions. And come over the weekend, we're going to have high pressure moving, which is going to amp up the wind and kick the ocean into nasty conditions times. All right, anyway, let's talk about fishing, right? Oh, yeah, and I got a message from Sean the other day that I didn't get it from NOAA. I don't know why. It doesn't matter. They're closing golden tilefish next week. So there we go, folks. If you have not got out to do your golden tile fishing yet, I suggest you do it. I have no clue when they're going to close it, but it's coming next week sometime. I'm sure we'll get the heads up. All right, anyway, let's talk some fishing, right? Here we go. We are going to start out with Chris Lopez. His son Cole caught this monster jack on a pompano rig. I mean, look at this. That's a big crevalle right there on a pompano rig too, with fish bites and stuff. He said, "That's crazy." So you got light gear and you hook a 15, 20 pound jack crevalle. You're in for the fight of your life right there. Solid fish, man. Congrats, young man. All right, let's look at some in-store stuff. I know we got a bunch of freshwater stuff going on. Let's see. We got this is not from Florida. This is San Diego. Sand bass from Mike. Yeah, I'm not very familiar with Pacific fish, but hey, looks like kind of like a tile fish. Wonder if it tastes as good. Awesome. Thank you for the contribution. All right, let's look what inshore stuff we got. We got Marlo Kennedy Alevo. She was out tearing it up, putting on a clinic this week. We got 3 different species to show off. Here's a nice peacock bass out of the lake. And we'll continue on with the saga. We got a nice largemouth bass here. And then to cap off her weekend, she got a nice clownfish. Said that this is her favorite fish of the year so far. Gave a little video. You guys can look on in the hey, there's Sean. How you doing, buddy? We were just talking about you. But if you're still listening, golden tilefish, did they give a date for it? Yes. Awesome fish. Showed relief. Showed the release and everything. You guys can check it out if you want to. It's a nice fish. Always great to see those things being caught. They aren't invasive species, but hey, it's a nice little catch. All right, let's see what else we got inshore. Right, we got Captain Alex on some solid yellowtails down in the Keys, Middle Keys. Captain Alex Marathon. Right, so if you're in the Middle Keys and you're looking for a captain to get you out there, he, licensed, insured, the real deal. He'll take you out and get you on some fish, right? If you can't get a hold of him, hit me up if you're ever looking for captain. We got a couple of captains that we're going to be sharing stuff with today. And we'll hit up some more yellowtail. Look at this. Captain Alex thinks he's got it dialed in. Yasmini has the yellowtail dialed in. Yes, I know the dolphin looks very lonely there, but they definitely got out there and, put on a clinic. Got it done. Boatload of fish and some good eatings right there. All right, let's keep on keeping on. I believe, this was the, they were flaying everything, showing off the wahoo fillet. Definitely. Look at that. Oh, boy. A ton of work ahead of them, too, at that. Boy. Anyway, you got it. Yes. Awesome catches. So our yellowtail bite's still happening, but it's spring, folks. The fish are going to come on. I had a lot of reports that people were seeing dolphin and they weren't biting. And yes, when it's first approaching spring, yeah, that can happen. And they're dolphins. Sometimes they're just picky. You're not going to get them to bite no matter what it is. They're not going to eat live bait, lures, ballyhoo. They're nothing. So you just move on until you find another pack that is feeding. But sometimes they're just not feeding. It could be something with the moon. It could be something with the weather. Just a big bummer. All right, let's start looking at pelagics. Here we go. Port Everglades, couple sailfish, couple dolphin and shallow. And then headed out, fished 45 feet to 300 feet. Decent king and a couple bonita. Solid. This is Steve. That's a good king, man. I take that home and throw it on a smoker. Actually, I grill them. You guys know me, man. Kingfish is one of my favorite fish. I don't care what nobody says. Maybe because I can't catch other stuff. Don't tell nobody. Mitchell, looks like we got a wahoo on a spinner. Unless that just happens to be there in the boat. Yeah, nice little wahoo. Let's see the lure right there. Very good. Right after sunrise and the mahi. Hey, cool. Perfect. Good deal, man. Wahoo and mahi. Here we go. Here's the mahi. Yes. Right after sunrise. There's the sunset. That dolphin's all lit up. Look at him. Pretty girl right there. All right. Hey, I'm going home with some goodness. There's our Jack Crevel. Here, Chris out of Key Largo, a blackfin. All right, folks, remember them blackfin. Hey, Kenny, how we doing? Sorry, I'm not paying attention to your comments are over here. I am not ignoring anyone at all. Hope everything's going great, boss. Thanks for saying hi. Blackfin, right, folks? The jumbos are getting ready to come in, and you know, probably in about another 3 or 4 weeks, it's going to be time to get out there and fish for them blackfin if that's your thing. You know, slow pitch jigging, live baiting on the bottom, big fat honka-donka hog body, 25-pound females coming through. Yeah, that's going to be the time, and they'll stick around for a good amount of time too. They did last year. Hopefully they're around for the same amount. Very good. Nice blackfin. Here we go. Jake, the mahi, we're biting $150 to 300 just north of Port Everglades. There we go. Look at that. All right, so a couple people were able to find mahi that were chewing. Granted, the general consensus that I got was, they were kind of hard to pick off. But hey, you ran into some that were hungry. Man, more power to you. You got the few that were. There we go, Captain Jim, the best of Boynton. Here we go. Another charter captain, folks, that hits us up all the time. If you're looking for a charter captain out of Boynton, this is Captain Jim. He owns 4J's Charters. They are sponsored by Evolution Lures. He makes his own line of slow pitch jigs, a couple of good things going on, and at the same time takes clients out and makes them very happy. Here we have another repeat of a wahoo and a dolphin. You know, yes, I understand, folks. The wahoo are not giant size right now. This is March. Remember, they're going to be swimming. The big females are going to be coming through on the next full moon. We see it starting to approach right now when I go through the moon phase here in about, hopefully, 15, 20 minutes or so. You'll see that moon phase is coming in. If you can get out and fish that March moon, I always say fish that March full moon. That's when I've caught the biggest wahoo all the time. But Captain Jim, like I said, best of Boynton, get out there. If you're looking for a charter boat captain in Boynton Beach, get out. He's going to put a big old smile on your face. All right. And you can definitely look through his report and all the photos, well documented. All right. Gwen, they went out looking for amberjack and they found vermilions. I got to tell you, I'll take that trade-off. Hey, sweet. Finding the beeliners instead of the donkeys. Got to love it. Thanks, Gwen, for your submission. Sean ran into dolphin hanging off some buoys, looks like, out there in the shipping lane. Says he's out about 1,200 feet. Couldn't get him to shoot. Very, very, very similar situation for lots of anglers this weekend. Yeah, I believe even Captain Jim said that, right? Nice school of mahi showed up. 8 to 10 pounders wouldn't chew. Same stuff, folks. Same story. All right, here we go. Yet another charter captain, folks. Listen, this is Neil Link. He owns and runs PalmBeachCharters.net. So if you're up in Palm Beach County and not towards Peanut Island or something, looking for a charter captain, here we go. Hit up Neil. again, if you can't find a charter captain, guys, you can always, hit me up and I can see what I can do for you. Nice kingfish and one sailfish over the weekend. PalmBeachCharters.net. They're looking happy. They're going home with some food. Definitely lovely. All right, here we go, Mr. Mike. So it's very interesting that I thought about this post when Sean sent the thing about NOAA shutting down golden tilefish. He said we didn't catch any tilefish if NOAA and the FWC read it, don't caught it yet. So Mike is one of these massively knowledgeable anglers. He's up north in St. Lucie, and I mean, you look at the fish he catches, they do the work, they put in the time, from the wahoo to the mahi to the tuna. These are like, very preferable fish that they come in contact with, and they've done the time, they've done the studies, and they end up with stuff like this all the time. Congrats, Mike, and yeah, thanks for always posting. There's that sea sand bass. Dean, look like they got a Spanish mackerel. They found a Spanish mackerel somewhere, unless it's a little king. Can't tell. Daughter looks happy. Very good. Going home, eating. And that about does it for all of our fishies to show off this week. So as you can see, right, folks, spring is here, right? The fish are gonna start swimming through. I know everybody is anxious. Mahi, we're seeing them. They're not biting. Give it time. It's gonna happen. Also a lot of times when you see mahi that aren't biting, it might mean they got hit somewhere down the line. Right now they're swimming north, right? This is not the south migration, which is later in the year. They're swimming north. So it could have been earlier that day. It could have been the day before, where somebody, they just got hammered, got laced into, and they're not eating. A bunch could have jumped hooks. They're not chewing because of that. Lord knows why. But like I said, I tend to think when you see a large group of dolphin that aren't feeding, there's something else going on. Could be a predator, could be the weather. So who knows? All right, let's move on, folks, and start doing some weather, right? And like I said, we got low pressure sitting over us, which I'll show you right here what it looks like. And then we will move forward. So low pressure, right? You see where it all almost looks like it's spinning right here is the center. So there's low pressure, really literally stalled. Kind of keeping our skies nice and clear, keeping the storms north of us. And, like I said, we've got this nice swell coming in that it's been creating some nice conditions out on the water. Now, the swell is going to pick up as time comes and, get a little bigger, get a little smaller. But this is the preemptive fishing time, right? We've got this front. It's got to get past us, and then I believe once this swell front it's not even going to pass us, it's going to dissipate, and then that's going to be the end of that winter weather, and then the fishing cycle, I believe, should start kicking in. Yeah, so that's right now. Tomorrow, right, we're looking at winds from the east, 9 knots. The further up north you go, a little lower. The further south you go, starts kicking in straight to Florida with all the, nowhere to hide. On our west coast, we're looking pretty flat, 5 knots west. Okay, so our wind is variable, right? The further up north we go, where we've got the stalled out front, or just it's stalled out low pressure. It's not front. It's a boundary, a frontal boundary, but it's nothing like that. A bunch of meteorology jargon. It means we've got basically a big giant storm that isn't going anywhere until high pressure comes and pushes it away, which is what will happen this weekend. You'll see a massive shift in the winds, start blowing 20 miles an hour, and then it'll be like, oh, that's what he was talking about. All right. So tomorrow afternoon, not much changes. Wind speeds stay about the same. Winds actually look like they pick up a little bit from the east as we head into Friday. And it looks like the winds will stay about the same. We're looking at low double digits, not even into the mid-teens or anything like that. Right around 9-10 knots. West Coast is going to be dead flat because they've got out there. I actually had somebody asking me about 10,000 Islands the other day, my buddy Steven, and we're doing lots of exploring lately here before the fishing season kicks in while the weather is crap. And yeah, that'll probably be, we'll get out there, head out to the 10,000 Islands when we get a chance, and do a little exploring, showing people, what it's like to get out there. There's also a little place up north called Pelagic. We'll show you the mystery of that, what's going on with that, on top of all the good fishing that's about ready to come. We're going to go over all the lures we're going to pull in this fishing season, for top water, planer, and slow pitch jigging, and live baiting and all that goodness. Like you said, we don't do much live baiting here on this show, but we're gonna change up a little bit this come fishing season, do a little bit of different stuff, have some good old boy fun, right? All right, so this is Friday, the winds, right? Looks like it wants to trickle down a little bit. Not much changes. We're still, right there around the 10 knot mark for all days, heading from the east. Saturday looks like it wants to slow down a little bit, but that's going to be right before that high pressure comes and kicks in on Sunday. Let's see that here. So let me show you. So there it comes. If I zoom out, you can see there's the high pressure coming. Okay, so that's Saturday during the night, and as we roll into Sunday, there it comes. Okay, so that high pressure is going to kick out the low pressure that we're in, and then we're looking at massive seas. Okay, so over the next couple of days, there's a swell. If you can get out and the rolling waves don't bother you, it is a slow bite, folks. We got to get past this weather system. Once this weather system passes, it's going to be go time. You're going to get out there. You'll see the mahi bite will turn on. The tuna are going to start showing up. That kingfish bite is going to finally come alive, and we'll have a month or so before the false albacore start taking over the reef and making that shallower than 200 range their home. Okay, so there's the high pressure moving on in Sunday, and stick around into Monday. So that's what we're looking at. So let's go on ahead and look at our waves and see how that's going to affect us, right? So we'll be tomorrow, we're looking at 5 foot waves, right? So it's a swell right now. 5 foot waves, 8 seconds. Some places are saying 2 foot. Again, I think the swell is a lot. It's a lot less than what these forecast models are saying they are. And I haven't talked about that at all. This is windy. We're going to use the next 4 websites. We're going to use. They're all our forecasting models. They're in the description of the video. You can copy, paste, and use it as you want to. Windy's great. You can click and point. It'll tell you the exact reading at that destination, or you can come down to the bottom. Got a little color-coded chart. Tells you all sorts of things: wind speed, wave heights, rain accumulation, all the goodness. You got to click through and play with it. There's a ton of different screens, and you find your favorites that make sense for how you imagine you should read weather, that makes you comfortable for planning your trips out into the ocean or wherever it is. And again, you can use this for everything. It's not just an ocean thing, it's a weather app. All right, so there we go. That is our waves for tomorrow. 3 foot 6 seconds. Like I said, it's between 2 and 4 foot swell. Nothing real crazy. Swell's going to hang out into Friday, starting to shorten up in the period. 3 foot, then a little bit down further south. It's about the same all up and down the coast. St. Lucie, it's a 2 to 4 foot swell. And with the wind blowing from the east, making the Gulf, the leeward side of the peninsula, they're going to have virtually non-existent waves out there, which it's always dead calm out there anyway. The Keys are looking 3 foot 4 seconds, so they don't really got the swell. Further up in the Tri-County area north, that swell's hanging out, kind of dissipating as we head towards the weekend. Saturday morning is kind of looking like the nicer of all of the upcoming days, and then it's gonna make way for the weather that moves in Thursday. So Saturday is looking at 2 foot period, and the period's going to close in as the day wanes in. and that swell will start eliminating is what we're looking at. And then you head into Sunday and all the water being pushed by the high pressure. And there we go. And then you head into Monday and it's still there. So like I said, over the next couple of days, folks, and then we're going to have a push of water, a massive force come in, and it will, increase wave sizes, make it pretty, pretty treacherous out there, but it'll go away. And then once this system passes, the full moon will be approaching, and the real beginning of spring will begin. There he is, the best of Boynton. How you doing, Jim? Thanks for showing up and saying hi. So that's what we're looking at for our waves. Let's go back to tomorrow and see about our rain. Like I said, we got this. There's we're seeing storms offshore in the morning and stuff. Nothing really. Maybe a sprinkle or two. Like I said, when you look at your rain accumulation, when we're using the screen, the blue area is literally just moisture in the sky. It's not rain, not storm. And as you can see, offshore moisture. So you'll see some cloudiness over, as you know, you're making your way east. There we go. In the afternoon on Friday, a little buildup over the 10,000 islands, which does not surprise me. Yeah, thank you. All right. Saturday again. So it's as you can see with this low, not much coming in, right? We're starting to get that afternoon onshore storm buildup as we head in, spring into summer. You'll see this will become the daily pattern again, right, folks? Remember, in the up and coming months, wind from the east, we have cool days. When you get that wind blowing from the west, the wind's going to heat up as it travels over the land, and you'll be miserable. Saturday, there we go. There's some storms in the morning offshore, not much, but so imagine that. You got the nicest day coming in, and they're predicting rain and storms pretty much all day. I don't know. That's Sunday. My bad. That says okay, so Saturday looks clear. The day that's supposed to be the best day looks clear. And then with the high pressure rolling in, it'll bring in the storms. So there you go. That's your way. That's what we're looking at. Crappy day on Sunday and moving into Monday. Okay, let's look at WindFinder. Oops, I shut it down. I gotta reopen it. I hit the X instead of the X. Okay, now we're gonna look at WindFinder, which is the numeric version of what we just looked at. See if they jive and or if we're going to have any discrepancies. All right, so tomorrow we're looking at east winds, like I said, right around 10 knots, not very gusty at all. Sunny, a little partly cloudy. And again, we've got 2 to 4 foot swell heading from the northeast. So there's swell, right? Tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday. Friday, swell, 3 foot swell, 8-9 seconds, right? And then as you see, you head into Sunday, and your maritime world is turned upside down by this high pressure moving in. So that's what we're looking at, right, folks? Dry days, a little moisture. They're saying Friday afternoonish. But those are just, those are going to be a spot here and there, maybe a sprinkle. So again, so we got that swell coming in, right? And then Sunday moves in the weather. All right. So let's take a look at our moon phase, right, folks? We've got this weather. This weather system is going to pass. The moon and the tides are going to mean everything to us. All right. So right now we're at pretty much 50% waxing. Okay. When we talk about the moon, waxing is going towards the full moon. Waning is going towards the dark side of the moon. Right now we're waxing. Okay. So today, Wednesday, we're at pretty much 50%. Okay. Tomorrow, Thursday, 60%. Friday, 70. Saturday, 80. Sunday, 88. Monday, 94. So as we're heading into next week, so our full moon, right? So when you're doing your macro Wahoo trolling, you like to be a couple of days out from it. You don't really like to be on it. So we're looking at Tuesday. passing the full moon about Wednesday. So the hope is that after this full moon for next weekend, hopefully our tides will be aligned. We will have a couple of days after the full moon, which means that reef trolling should be inspirational. And yeah, so again, with this moon cycle also, it could be a telltale sign of possibly why the mahi weren't chewing for everybody. You see, I think when the moon's bright like this, the mahi eat all night, but they could have had enough light, because we were talking, you know, a few days ago, and when the sky's lit up by the moon, the bait fish are sitting ducks. They can't run. They can only disperse and go and hide over the reef. But if they're ocean going bait fish, they're going to get hammered by the mahi and the tuna at night. So that's what we're looking at. So our moon is looking good for next week, as long as the weather hopefully dissipates. All right, now let's look at the tide charts and see if that's going to work for us too. So right now, well, remember, tide charts is good for your inlets. Let me discuss them. So right now, we've got the tide that we need, which means next week you won't have the tide that you need. You need a tide when you're fishing the tidal flow of an inlet. You need the outgoing tide, especially the guys that are land-based. You focus on the boats, it can be a little different. And this rule does not apply to the Palm Beach inlet fishing for sheepshead. That's different. General rule for fishing inlets, you need the outgoing tide like we have right now. And it has to be topical for the time of day. So as you can see, as the sun's coming up, we've got an outgoing tide. As the sun's going down, we've got an outgoing tide. Tide pushes out sediments, fish come in, eat the sediments, big fish come and eat the little fish. That's how the tidal flow works. You've got an outgoing tide in the middle of the day, good luck. All right, so right now we've got that tide, which means moving into next week, as the tidal cycle shifts, it won't be on your side. So that being said, if you have over the next couple of days to hit it, right? We're out from the full moon right now. We've got the good tide cycle. So right now, if you can do it in, you know, tomorrow, Friday, that's a mackerel trolling moon. The kings and the wahoo might show up for you. So, you know, get out there and do it. All right, that about does it for this one, folks. Before we take off, though, I just want to invite you to join the South Florida Saltwater Fishing Report on Facebook, right? It is a Facebook group. It's a private group. It is not a public group. It looks like the cover for it looks like this without the date. You can see it up here. You just can't see it because of the administrator badge. Yeah, go ahead. Ask to join. This group right here and everybody's posts that they make is what drives this live stream, which allows us to give a solid Florida fishing report for folks out there that want to know what's biting and where it's being caught, and possibly, you know, a little bit of insider info, which is can be very hard to come by when you're looking for info for fishing. So ask to join the South Florida Saltwater Fishing Report. Right, every Monday we make brag board posts. If you post something, it's guaranteed to be showcased on the live stream, and you also have a chance of being the thumbnail poster child to represent all of South Florida saltwater fishing in the best way ever. All right, folks, that about does it for this one. Yeah, I wish I had better weather news about the incoming high pressure, but like I said, it will make sense once we get past this pretty much last cycle. Right, we're approaching the end of March. Okay, it's done. After this, fishing's gonna be fire. All right, so that about does it, folks. Till next Wednesday, South Florida Salt, going wherever the cool wind takes us.